Nate thinks the Bills might be done. I ask if CJ Stroud is the next great one. And our Thanksgiving table power rankings. All right, first things first. Happy Thanksgiving, Nate. I know you're on the desk Thursday. Did you get a family meal in you? Where are we at on American Thanksgiving, we'll call it?
Yeah, well, listen, I worked all day. We did the game, and then I came home around 8:30-ish. I ate, I drank, I slept. It was a good Thanksgiving. I appreciate you saying that because, all my Canadian family, we don't celebrate the same Thanksgiving. Y'all celebrated on the second Monday of October. We celebrated the last Thursday of
November.
Look at him flexing.
Look at him flexing.
You know what I mean? I'm hip to it, baby. Shout out to all my Canadians, though. And I'm thankful for y'all. Let me just get that out there.
So, all right, give me your Thanksgiving meal power rankings. If you need me to give you some time by offering up some suggestions.
We good.
All right.
We good.
All right.
Listen,
so
right out the gate. Top three, right out the gate. I'm taking candied ham over turkey. Turkey, if made right, can be juicy and delicious, but turkey is actually better after Thanksgiving when you're making those turkey sandwiches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the leftovers.
That's where turkey. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I'm not even putting turkey in my top three. I'll go candied ham. Mac and cheese, because everybody loves mac and cheese. It's a staple. And mac and cheese is like a year-round thing. That's how good it is. You know you're legit when you can be served in every single season and on every holiday.
Also has to be done right.
Stuffing is overrated. Yeah, also has to be done right. Also has to be done right. Stuffing is overrated because it also has to be done right. And on top of that, nobody ever has stuffing any other time of year. If stuffing was really like that, and shout out to all my people that love stuffing, you would be eating stuffing other times of the year. So I'm just going to say right now, right out the gate, ham.
Mm-hmm.
We got mac and cheese.
Yep.
And then coming in a solid third, I'm going to go with a dessert, and I'll go either sweet potato or pumpkin pie. You know what I'm saying? Throw a little whipped cream on top, and you're good. That right there, that's me. What about you? I need to hear yours.
Listen, turkey's the star. Too often forgotten amongst the crowd. It's like banking on a 30-piece from Kobe. Like, you don't do that. You don't bank on the 30-piece from Kobe. You appreciate the 30-piece from Kobe. Show love where it needs to be shown. That's number one, okay? So I'm putting turkey on top, and we do it right up in here. Gravy, so versatile. That's your glue guy. That's your glue piece, right? You know what I'm saying? Bets the stars. Turkey, better with gravy. Potatoes, better with gravy. And you don't like the greens? Put gravy on that ish, and you're good. Okay?
Oh, greens. You're right. Greens are fire.
And I'm a classics guy. I guess I'm a classics guy. Or really boring, but I swear I season my chicken. I swear I season my chicken. Apple crumble with vanilla ice cream. Close it out.
Are we talking like hot apple crumble though, right?
Hot, yeah. And you need the crumble, not just the pie, the crumble.
You need the crumble on top because it takes away a little bit of the heat. But also that crumble, it needs to be hot so much so that you need the ice cream to complement it.
Right.
Because if you eat it alone, melts. It's going to be one of those. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want the ice cream on top.
You know what? A drizzle of caramel over top the crumble.
Oh, now you're getting freaky. Now you're getting freaky with me. Okay, now you're getting freaky. I like that. I like that a lot.
I like it. Everyone does that. That is universal. That is absolutely universal. Nate, let's just start. Since we're going on Thanksgiving, why can't the Lions have nice things?
You know what? You try to give them nice things, and you just wait. You wait for them to have the moment that they all been waiting for, right? 8-2. You go into the Thanksgiving Day game with the best record you have had since the early 60s.
62.
And 62.
62.
And you're supposed to win this game. You're not even playing against somebody that we think is a legitimate comparison when it comes to talent and how the season has been so far. And then you go out there and you lose in front of your hometown. And the only reason I'm sounding like this, not because I want to tear down my Lions, is just because there's this deep hesitation, not because I was a player, but because I also am a fan. And the fans are always waiting for the Lions to be the Lions. I will say this, though. I'm not panicking. Bro, they're 8-3.
You know what I'm saying? That was the follow-up. Is there real worry? Is there real worry?
Yeah, it's not a real worry because it's bound to happen. You're bound to have a few bad games. And let's forget about it being on Thanksgiving. Let's forget about the whole world watching. Let's forget about what we wanted it to be. If you are a casual Lions fan, if you're a Lions player, if you love the fact that the Lions are now irrelevant. Again, if we would have told you at this point in the year, late November, the Lions will be 8-3, I think you're all like, damn, for real? Yeah, they're 8-3 in control of the division. That's why I'm not panicking. I think the Lions will be just fine. Now, it was disappointing though, because we all wanted the whipped cream on top. We wanted the ice cream on top of the crumble. We wanted all the good stuff to complement what has already happened, which would have been a great victory on top of a season thus far. But maybe it's good though. Maybe this is exactly what they need. In front of the world, you get smacked. Now you're not getting patted on the back. Now we're not saying that this is the Super Bowl Lions. Now we're all questioning again. And for this team and Dan Campbell and how he has these guys motivated, this might be what they need to look in the mirror and realize, you're being doubted again. Once again, you're the same old Lions. What are you going to do about it?
You remember the show That's So Raven?
Yes, of course.
That was so Lions. That was so Lions.
That was so Lions, yeah. And for a lot of Lions fans, they felt like Raven. They saw it before it happened. They were like, oh, yeah, this is about to happen. Yeah. So hopefully they'll bounce back. I think the response will be everything we need to know.
Right.
How they play on their next game and their schedule is so good moving forward. So it's like you have an opportunity to finish this thing strong.
Right. That's what I was going to read out was week 13, New Orleans, week 14 at Chicago, Denver. And you get Minnesota twice here. And you get Minnesota without Kirk. I know they're playing better, but you get Minnesota.
Minnesota's coming though.
Yeah.
And they have to work. Listen, if you're the Lions who we think you are this year, that doesn't scare you. If you're the Lions who see yourselves as a kitty cat when you look in the mirror, this Minnesota team who really is just playing with house money and Josh Dobbs doing whatever he can as the pastronaut, I think that might scare you. It just depends how they bounce back from this loss.
That should not scare them, but I know you've played for both teams. Both of those teams have some history. Sticking in that division, though, did we just see the turning of the corner for Jordan Love? So quick story here. I'm a fan of Dak. I think he faces ridiculous pressure as the quarterback of America's team. But I was wary when he went off against the Chargers week 6, heading into the bye. But confidence was gained when he tore apart the Chargers. Since then, he's been on fire. We'll get to him in a flash. So Jordan Love gets the Chargers, and I bet is over because the Chargers' pass defense is historically bad. He goes for 322 last week. And then against a much better D, in the D, he looks like a dude. Are we at the start of a journey here, or is this just a couple games easy, Tim?
No, I believe we are at the start of a journey and something special. Jordan Love has kind of figured out who he is as a quarterback. He has a little bit of his own skill set, but there's a lot of Aaron Rodgers' influence, and that's not a bad thing at all. There was a couple of plays where I'm sitting there with Phil Simms, and I see Jordan Love just kind of grip it and side swing it and throw one of those over the middle balls that just spinning so tightly, but it was off kilter a little bit, off his pivot a little bit. And it reminded me immediately of Aaron Rodgers. And I just think the time that he spent sitting behind Rodgers, watching all of the greatness at practice, but then watching how he was criticized just through and through, that made him a better pro. I'm glad that we didn't see Jordan Love early on in his career. And as much as we want to throw these guys into the kitchen to see if they can handle the heat, I mean, look at Bryce Young and what he's dealing with the Carolina Panthers. I just feel like now you have a quarterback that has went through the roller coaster ride and is now kind of figuring out how good he is. Oh, and not to mention he's attached to some young talent. I mean, Romeo Doubs is a young wide receiver. So if you can keep those guys together for a long time before the money starts to influence them, before the criticism makes them question who they are, they got some legit talent that they're building on.
All right, I want to pick up on that young quarterback point because it's something that I see in CJ Stroud and how he's getting over the hump. But just Dak dominant. We've done this before. We good on them boys. Nothing matters to the playoffs. You've been saying nice run, impressive numbers. Let's see what happens against teams that are good enough. Is that what we saw last night? And Washington's just not good enough.
Yeah, Washington's not good enough. We saw with the firing of their head coach. And I'll just say this. Dak Prescott will be regular season good throughout his career. He'll even be MVP good throughout his career during the regular season. I think that the step that we all want Dak to take, because we're all fans of Dak, is to have that defining moment in the postseason where he takes his team either to the NFC Championship game or that NFC Championship game, he takes his team to the Super Bowl. That's all we're waiting on. And I think from there, Dak can quiet all of the criticism. And you're right, Tim. He does face it unfairly, but that's what happens when you wear that star on your helmet.
Without a doubt. You've never eased on the Niners or the Brock Purdy bandwagon. Like, that's an impressive win in Seattle in front of the 12s on Thanksgiving.
I feel like Brock Purdy needs to be mentioned in the conversation of MVPs.
You know, that
when
pisses off people, right? Like,
I know
a lot of people are
pushing
pushing back on that.
And it's okay. And this is their pushback. Well, he has McCaffrey and George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Can the guy help who he plays with? Like, we can't do this whole like situational unawareness. Like, the situation he's in is that he has a really good play caller and he has some talent that he's throwing the ball to and handing the ball off to. That's not his fault. Let's keep in mind, he wasn't supposed to be here. He beat out two guys, one guy making $30+ million a year, another guy who was drafted to replace Garoppolo. So that doesn't count for anything. Oh, okay, forget about that. He had a few games where they slid, right? Those 3 games, and he had the turnovers. What about every other game since then in his career? He's not only thrown the ball to the right person, had great discernment when going through his progression. He's never turned the ball over in the moments that matter the most. Forget about the 3 games that we're talking about where they lost. Every quarterback is going to have that type of slide. Brock Purdy is playing at a high level. And I'm just tired of people passing it off as if like it's his talent. The question I have is, why wasn't this team that good when Garoppolo was playing? Yeah, Garoppolo was winning.
Great point, yeah.
Garoppolo
and Trey Lance,
was winning
top
games.
5 pick, yeah.
And Trey Lance, Garoppolo was winning. But were we as impressed with, did this offense scare you? We kept saying, Garoppolo's good, but it's the D. Garoppolo's good, but it's the D. This is the first time we've talked about this offense like this in the last few years. So let's give Brock Purdy some credit.
Yeah, I think it's like a confluence of a bunch of things. But when you're 15-4 as a starter, he's 15-3 in games that he started and finished, because he was 4 for 4 against Philly before he gets hurt. Who knows what happens in that playoff game? If he continues it, who knows if those people who are ripping on him can continue to rip on him if he beats Philly last year.
Hey, and I don't mean to cut you off, Tim, but I'll say this last thing because I want people to look behind the face mask. And what I mean by that, just look across the league from your favorite quarterback all the way to the guy you think might be ranked number 32.
Okay.
Brock Purdy, when he is in that pocket, he is as calm as ever. My dude is cool as a cucumber, and he never panics. I'm talking from a wide receiver perspective. I love that. When I get into the huddle and that quarterback is talking to me and I see nothing but killer in his eyes, or when I'm running a route and I turn around to find my QB and it's chaos back there and he comes out of it and just throws an absolute dot to me, like, that's what I love. When you're watching Brock Purdy now, I want you to pay attention to this guy. When the pocket breaks down, how he releases out and never panics, throws the right throw. Like, that's why he's good. Forget about the numbers. Forget about who else you think might be the MVP. There's something about having a guy that's kind of like captaining the ship that is doing everything right.
Okay, so let's tie this all together then. So 15-3, I mentioned the record as a starter because I think that's the toughest thing for rookie quarterbacks to do, is win games. Like, we've seen guys do it, as you mentioned, with established defenses before. Purdy, guys like Mark Sanchez, Russell Wilson, right? When he started that defense was real. He was it. Joe Flacco, even Dan Marino. Like, people forget the team that Dan Marino
joined.
Good
pulls.
Yeah,
and they just good pulls, Tim.
They came right out of a Super Bowl. So CJ Stroud, right, getting drafted top 3 to what is presumably a bad team and to win right away. Like, he's playing for first in the division against the Jags this weekend. I'm so impressed with what he's doing. What about you, winning and the numbers?
Yeah, I believe it's the most impressive quarterback play because I'm also realistic. We can, give Brock a little bit of a pass because they're freaking loaded offensively and defensively.
Right.
And so we kind of expected them to be at the very least good. We weren't expecting that from the Houston Texans. I will say this, credit to JJ Watt. His first episode on NFL Today.
Yeah.
He said, y'all might not be expecting anything from Houston, but I feel like they're going to surprise people. And I kind of pushed back jokingly, like, what do you mean surprise people? He's like, more wins than you think. Right. And he's right. Like, he knew, though. But he's a guy that, one, has a voice in the building, has eyes in the building, and has been down there. He saw CJ Stroud. I just thought, like, with the way that they were starting off, like not getting the wins in the win column, that is so like it's devastating to a rookie quarterback, and it's devastating to a team that's supposedly rebuilding with a new QB, new coach, and new talent. But for them, shout out to DeMeco Ryan. The whole team was just like, yo, we're good. We just haven't found our rhythm. Once we do, then we're gonna know our identity. So I agree with you. I think the most impressive quarterback play has to be CJ Stroud. And this isn't like, oh, he's going to be offensive rookie of the year. The dude's playing well. He's going to have a hell of a career. Nah, they're playing for the division. Like, and you can't go to this team, the Houston Texans, and tell them that they're not one of the best, or at least one of the hottest teams. And sometimes, as we know, bro, we've been watching this sport for a long time. It's not about being the best team. It's about getting hot at the right time. And I feel like the Houston Texans are the scariest team to play right now.
So it's just fascinating to me because like very few quarterbacks started right away and succeeded. I mean, you think about it, Brady waited, Mahomes waited, Rodgers waited, Favre waited, Montana waited. We've had this conversation before about clipboards, standing on the sidelines and watching. Maybe it's just fascinating to me, but
Peyton Manning struggled out the gate.
Well, we hype up these high picks, and rarely do they ever live up to the hype. Like the Mannings did it, Aikman did it, Elway did it, but you have to have patience. Like Trevor Lawrence, I went and looked some of these numbers. Trevor Lawrence in his rookie year was 3-14. In those 17 starts, he had 12 touchdown passes. Like who else? The Peyton Manning, 3-13 in his rookie year, 26 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. Troy Aikman famously 0-11 in his rookie year, 9 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. And when you put that out there, like CJ, I saw Matt Ryan, Robert Griffin before he got the balance is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Nate, is when you throw them out as early picks, they struggle to stay healthy because the rest of the team's not that good. And by the time the rest of the team catches up to the quarterback, he's no longer where he was. Like I saw that with Robert Griffin. Matt Ryan jumped on the scene pretty well. He was 11-5, but he only had 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Like CJ Stroud's already got more than 16 touchdown passes. Like it's to me, what he's doing this year, if he can stay healthy, puts him on a trajectory that, like, I'm talking big time here.
Yeah, and what does that say about this coaching staff that has instilled enough confidence into a young man who's already confident? When you listen to him talk, he got to be the coolest guy ever. And I mean, the simple fact that he's so humble, he plays hungry, but with his humility, it's a very unique balance. But the running back group, the offensive line, the wide receivers, Noah Brown, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I mean, these guys that are now becoming household names, these dudes are playing as if they've been around a long time. They're not playing like they're playing with a rookie. Baker Mayfield said it when he lost to CJ Stroud. Baker Mayfield said, I mean, that didn't seem like a rookie. That seemed like a veteran. So I think it's CJ Stroud, but it's also this team. Like, it's one thing for a rookie not to play like a rookie quarterback. It's another thing for this team to have expectations that are unlike those from a rookie quarterback. And when you watch the Texans, watch their route running and tell me that as a group, collectively, that they might be the best route running group in all of football, period.
I was looking for Baker Mayfield's numbers as a rookie too, but I'll just go on.
But Baker Mayfield did all right. I think he threw for 27 touchdowns. Yeah. He broke the rookie record, I believe.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that you might put in the group of succeeded early. He was 6-7 with 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. So the touchdown to interception numbers were okay, but he ended up 6-7. It's so hard to get that balance of winning and numbers, and there aren't many guys. There's like 2 or 3. All right, so Ben Roethlisberger was one of those guys. He was 11th overall, though, so he's a little different. He goes to a little better team. The Steelers are still looking for his replacement. They blame Canada. Offensive coordinator Matt Canada.
Come on. Well, I don't like it when people blame Canada, the country or the last name. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that.
Tell him. It feels like this Bengals Steelers is like a loser leaves town match. Like they are done, no longer looking at the postseason. Let's start with the Steelers' new offensive coordinator before we get to Jake Browning, if we do get to Jake Browning.
I want this team to open up, allow this offense to flourish. Let's show some creativity. I love the backfield, Jalen Warren, the Najee Harris. I like to see him on the field a little bit more often. It seems like it's either one or the other, the yin and the yang, the speed and the bang. But I just want to see if this offense can open up. If you're going to blame Canada, then let's see what happens after you get rid of them. Because it's one thing to blame a coach, then that coach leaves and you still don't succeed. Now there's big question marks on the entire staff. So there should be a significant difference moving forward.
All right, last one because we're running out of time here. Bills, the Eagles. Listen, the Bills closed out 2022 with 7 straight wins. Now they got some injuries. Their confidence is beat up. I have no idea what in the good name of Fred Schmerlis is going on here. At Philly, the bye, and then back with at the Chiefs, home to Dallas. Could the Buffalo Bills be done after the next 3 games?
Yes. And it pains me to say it. I just don't think this is the season. Forget about them reaching the AFC Championship game. I'm not sure that these guys will finish the season strong enough to make the playoffs. I just think there's too many questions, and I don't mean questions of talent or coaching staff. I just think these guys, they're not who we thought they were, and they don't present the same threat to teams that they are facing. Last year, they were undeniably one of the best teams and pumped fear into the hearts of those they faced. The only teams that really are scared of the Bills are teams that are extremely inferior. If teams feel like they have a chance, it seems like they end up playing against a team that always plays lower to their competition. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but I don't think this is going to be a year that we're celebrating the Bills in the postseason.
Interesting. I'm going to close with one. It's just a stat, okay? And it's a tough one. Only 4 teams have never played in the Super Bowl before. Cleveland, Houston, Jacksonville, and Detroit. They're all playing much better football than probably we expected from any of them. When I was younger, taking the Browns to the Super Bowl meant something completely different. Does any of them end up do you believe that we're on that level with any of those 4 teams where we could make history, or are we not there yet? Cleveland, Houston, Jacksonville, Detroit.
Yeah, I do like the Jackson. I do like Detroit. I feel like at some point, this Houston momentum is going to hit a halt, and that's because of inexperience.
Okay.
Cleveland, it's just too many injuries. You got 2 of their major superstars that will be watching like us, which is Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson. Yeah. So, yeah, Jags and Lions, I would hope to see one of those teams because I don't want to see the same old teams in the postseason and then in the Super Bowl. But here's the thing, Tim, you know this like I know this. Mm-hmm. Experience goes a long way, man. And I know we talk about Super Bowl hangovers, but the great thing about teams like the Chiefs and the Eagles is that they've been there. They know what it takes. They know what the month of January feels like. They know what new football, a new season feels like. They know what it's like to get into the new year of 2024, all banged up, battered and bruised, family ready to go on vacation. The monotony of football sucks. The food in the cafeteria starts to taste the same, but you have to finish the job. There's teams that know that and teams that don't. And it's a small team. It's a small thing. It's a variable, but it makes a huge difference in that Super Bowl run.
You said ham was the number 1?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Ham, mac and cheese, and then desserts. Hey, I must say this. Listen, I love your voice typically, but there's this sultriness. There's just this I don't know how to word it correctly, but it's it's not berry white. It might be very white, but either way, it's just it's fantastic.
We're in the horn. Hap. I was gonna say, I feel like I should be hosting the Quiet Storm. I don't know where you listen to the Quiet Storm.
Hey, I do. Yeah.
But 93.7 WBLK, the Quiet.
Yes, sir.
Coming up next, Sade.
Hey, it's about to get real sexy.
Enjoy Thanksgiving, my dude. All the best to you and the fam.
Right.
And I hope you get all 3 of those power rankings into the old field house.
No
All right, be
doubt,
good.
no doubt. I'll see you next week, brother.